Good afternoon, citizenship students. Welcome to our lesson today. So our lesson is on people, pressure groups, and also the media that we consume every single day. So as part of the Do Now activity and all the questions that you're going to complete on the worksheet, which is separate to the lesson itself, I want you to answer the following questions. So question 3. What are our main social media websites? I've given you a really good example. So one example of a really famous social media site is Facebook. So number 3, what are our main social media websites? So Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Snapchat, Twitter, some really good examples that I've highlighted. Number 4, why do you think government posts information on these sites? Really think about it. Why do you think the government, for example, someone like Boris Johnson, posts information on these social media sites? Answer that question in 20 seconds. Perfect. Moving on with the next part of our lesson, our position slide. So the big question in our lessons today is, why do pressure groups get involved in politics? Why do pressure groups get involved in politics? So in today's lesson, we're going to understand what public opinion is. We're going to examine what are pressure groups and what they seek, what they want to achieve. And number 4, to analyze examples of how pressure groups have influenced change. So our key words for today's lessons are public opinion, pressure group, campaign groups, individuals, change, and also last but not least, we have interest. Perfect. Moving on with our lesson. So it's really important that in today's lesson, we all understand what the word pressure groups is, or the words pressure group is. A pressure group or pressure groups is a noun. Pressure groups are also known as interest groups. A pressure group is a group that tries to influence government to pass laws and policies that represent their cause. Okay? I'll give an example. So Greenpeace, are a pressure group that influences government to pass laws that protects the environment. So their cause is protecting the environment, and Greenpeace, they influence government to pass laws that protects it. Okay? So your last task is to give your own sentence using the words pressure group. Okay? A group that tries to influence government to pass policies that represents them. Moving on with the next part of our lesson. So, what is public opinion? Really important that we understand what public opinion is. So one of the questions on the worksheet is going to ask you to describe what public opinion is. So public opinion, on the blue box, it sums up the views of the population. So the majority of the population that believe in that view, that is public opinion. It gives the government really strong messages about the people's views. So for example, university tuition fees should be reduced. Most people in this country believe that, and that is public opinion. Okay? This can affect how laws are changed, as government want support to be re-elected and need it from the people. So most people who believe in a specific cause or specific idea, because they believe it and the majority believe that, the government needs the majority support to be re-elected again. So they're more likely to believe in those policies and pass the policies that the majority of the population want, because they know they need their support. Okay? So public opinion is the summing up the views of the whole population, the popular views of the whole population. So I'll give an example again, just to really emphasize this, okay? Public opinion, so Black Lives Matter protests. Majority of people in this country believe that black people in this country and in the world are being discriminated for being black. That is public opinion, and that's an example of the reason why thousands and thousands and thousands of people in this country through public opinion protested to achieve equal rights, to influence government, to pass laws that protects black people's rights, okay? Moving on, how is public opinion formed? It comes from a wide range of organizations to influence how we think and act. The government through social media, such as Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, tries hard to persuade us to re-elect and vote for them again, using social media to get us to support them. Political parties in election time also get given radio and TV coverage to sell their policies to get people to vote for them. So when you watch Question Time, or if you watch the Parliament on TV or through the radio, MPs, Boris Johnson, etc., they sell their policies. They educate and teach their policies and their beliefs to get people in our country to vote for them because they need that support. And they also use social media to gain that support. They use TV to gain that support, okay, which we watch every single day. Okay, and that is how public opinion, our opinions about the government, our opinions about life is formed. Okay, so moving on to pressure and campaign groups. So we know that a pressure group is a group that tries to influence government to pass laws that represent their cause. So a pressure group and a campaign group have good access to media, such as TV, radio, newspapers, and are likely to have more influence than others. So these images right there, these images, they show that these groups attract attention to achieve their aims. So WWF, so if you look very carefully, so WWF, which is right there, so that WWF poster works to look after environment. And at the top, you've got Amnesty International. Okay, it helps people who are under threat. Your signatures save lives, using media, their media coverage, to represent their cause and to educate their cause so that people support it. And the government support it. Really popular and influential pressure groups. So, for example, Greenpeace, they protect the environment. The Amnesty International, that's the logo for Amnesty International, they protect people from abuse and danger. You have Oxfam, they support poor countries in need, especially in Asia and Africa. You've got Stop AIDS campaign, preventing the spreading of AIDS. You have UK Youth, they educate and support youth in making important decisions in their lives. Moving on. So making change happen. Campaign group. So making change happen is a campaign group, and we're going to look in more detail what this campaign group did. So Julie Bailey's mother died because she believed she was not treated properly under the NHS. She wrote to the local paper through this campaign group, letters flooded. She was not only the first person to be treated unfairly in the hospital. The Cure for NHS campaign was formed as a result of her mistreatment in hospital. This led to public investigation in how patients were treated in the NHS. After this investigation, loads of changes happened in hospitals as more employment of nurses and GPs happened because of the influence of the Cure the NHS campaign group. Okay, you know now that the Cure for NHS, that campaign group was able to influence the government to spend more money in hospital services by employing more nurses and GPs so that people in this country are treated properly under the NHS. Okay? And really good examples of what the Cure for NHS did, writing letters to the government, and what the government did in response to that campaign group's influence. Okay? Lovely. So that is the end of our lessons today. So if you open up that document, that separate document with all the questions from today's lesson, you need to answer those questions in full sentences. You need to answer the exam questions that I put at the bottom in full sentences using the exam structure. And I expect that you submit this work by Monday the 25th of January. Any questions or concerns in regards to our lesson and our work today, please feel free to email me. I'm happy to respond. I'm happy to support from home. And I expect that work to be submitted and completed by Monday. Please either submit it or you email the work to me if you're finding difficulties in submitting that work. Have a fantastic day, Year 11s, and I look forward to reading your work very, very soon. Take care and rest up and stay safe.